Hey everyone, and welcome back to Sports Design School. Now today we're continuing our series, the Sports Design School Playoffs. Last week we had an awesome competition between Ben Westlake and Zachary Kilgore. I'll put the link in the description down to that video. You definitely don't want to miss out on that one. And today we have another exciting head-to-head battle between two talented creatives, Jack Rydenauer and Tyler Moreno. Now I'll be sure to put their portfolios or Instagrams down in the description that you can check them out, but I'm super excited for today's video, and I'm not going to talk a whole lot, I'm just going to dive right in. This is just a quick reminder that if you are enjoying the Sports Design School playoffs so far, make sure you drop a like on this video to help new people find the series. And of course, if you're enjoying the Sports Design School channel, enjoying the content that we put out, please subscribe. But back to our video. So here we have Jack Rydenauer. Now Jack is an awesome graphic designer, and I was super excited when he submitted his portfolio to kind of get him involved in this competition and see what kind of work he comes up with. So let's just jump in and see what he can do. So as you can see, I had to speed it up pretty quickly because these videos, as you can imagine, were pretty long. I had some people sending me like videos that were probably like 2 or 3 hours long, and I was trying to compress them down. So I had to send it to, it was like 9,000% speed or something like that. So this one's pretty quick. But as you can see here, Jack's just going through and erasing all of the parts of the Trevor Lawrence cutout. And like most people in the competition, he went through and did a jersey swap. I think this was a cool prompt for you guys to kind of see behind the scenes on jersey swaps and kind of see what people do, different strategies. There's so many different ways of doing jersey swaps. So just seeing different people do it in different ways, I think is a great way of learning. But here we have him, he's just going through and recoloring all of the orange. It's nice swapping him to the Jaguars just because I feel like orange and teal are very similar in terms of like the hue of the color. And so it's a simple switch over versus like if you're trying to switch someone from like dark red, like an Alabama red, to like a bright green, it might be a little bit different, but who knows? And here you have him using it looks like he used the pen tool with some gradient maps and things to add the stripes on the jerseys, and then he's taking the Nike logo in. Okay, now he's removing the numbers from the base of the jersey. Very exciting. And now he's cutting off these numbers from the Gardner Minshew cutout, which is, again, a good strategy that I recommend. I have a video coming out about jersey swaps, and it's a very similar strategy that I use for those. Because anytime you use like just plain text and you try to make it look like a real jersey, it kind of looks fake. But when you use a real jersey and then you just kind of warp it and stuff to fit, I think it produces better results. So awesome here. You can see he's using that gradient map down in the bottom right of his levels to kind of add those stripes in. That's a cool idea, using a gradient map for that. And then I think Jack had one of the coolest effects of applying like the helmet swap. It's something that like Trevor Lawrence with a mustache is just also hilarious. But like I was saying, it's just like there's so many different ways of doing helmets, and to be honest, a lot of them don't look great. I think he did an awesome job here with his helmet. I think it was really cool. Yeah, that helmet looks so sharp, just kind of taking the Gardner Minshew cutout and then putting it on top. So it looks like we're done with our first cutout, and now we're working on our second cutout here. And he's just going through and doing the Trevor Lawrence cutout. Again, another thing that's important to note, all these people are doing the cutouts the right way, which is the layer mask. And not just like erasing things, because anytime you work destructively and you erase, you're not able to get that back. So it's nice seeing these people doing that kind of style. Here we have the Duval County City of Jacksonville sign. If you've ever been to Duval County, let me know down in the comments. Oh, here we have the Sports Design School logo. That's kind of cool. Nice touch, Jack. Very cool. We have his signature. Of course, adding signatures is one of my favorite things. And then this cool overlay right here. Oh, and a Jaguar pattern. I love, so he added the radial blur, it looks like, onto the Jaguar pattern. I love when you have like the different animal patterns in prints and you're able to just add it on there. Very cool. I like this circle effect. Okay, I see what he's going for. And just a reminder, this whole prompt was to be a social media graphic. So it doesn't necessarily have to be like this big, elegant design. It's just something that you see on social media that like ESPN or Bleacher Report would put out. And that people would want to retweet. So we're making good progress so far. We have the stadium in the background, the textures. I'll be interested to see what he does with this signature, if he does anything. He's got some text warping, and it looks like a little bit of an interesting font. Adding the shadows to his feet. Looks like he uses the same method I do for most of mine, so that's awesome. Good for him. And then, of course, the white overlay. That's nice. I wonder what his blending mode is. I guess he's just doing a normal blending mode. Okay. Cool. And then adding some black and white to the sign, it looks like. Messing around with the curves to kind of focus. There's so many different things that you can do. And is that it? Yeah, that's it. So everyone at home, when you're watching this, wherever you're watching this, just give a snap real quick for Jack. I think that was awesome. I really enjoyed his design. I'll put it up on the screen right here so you can see it. So that was awesome, Jack. Thank you so much for submitting it. And as a reminder, at the end of the video, make sure you click down in the Google Forms to submit your vote for who do you think won this round. But we'll move on to our next competitor here. Now we're on to Tyler Moreno, Timo. I'm super excited to see what he came up with. It seems like he kind of goes through a different process than most people. It looks like he doesn't actually use Photoshop. And so that was one of the reasons I wanted to kind of check out what he is doing and kind of see his process. I think it's always interesting seeing different people have different approaches. And so let's just jump in and see what he can come up with. And so I don't actually even know what program this is. It looks like it might be on an iPad or something, but it's definitely a very interesting approach so far. It looks like it's like a, I don't know. Leave a comment down below if you know what this is, because I'd be interested to see kind of what he's working with. So it looks like we have a kind of water PNG effect. Not so much of a PNG, we had to erase part of it, but looking pretty good so far. Just going through and now we're looking for images. I'm curious to see, it doesn't look like it's sped up very much at all. Or maybe he just took a long time with the water. Okay, now it's looking like it's more sped up. That's interesting. Okay, so we're going through erasing the remaining parts of our background that we didn't get from our water, and then adding in the image in the background. So it looks like on the right side here, it's a very similar kind of look to Photoshop in terms of like the layers tab. It looks like now we're cutting out the building. This looks like it's kind of tough to do if you're doing it on an iPad or something, which it looks like he is doing it on an iPad. I could be wrong though. Going through and erasing the skyline. Very cool. Yeah, Jacksonville's an interesting city. It's not really like a big like New York or anything. Not even like Atlanta or something. It's like pretty small. So it's definitely interesting place to visit if you ever are considering going. Trevor Lawrence will be there probably, so. I just find it so interesting sitting and watching people do different approaches. And I think when he originally sent over the original file, it wasn't actually that long. Some of them send over, some of the guys that have sent over the designs have sent over things that are like 3 hours long. I think I mentioned that in the first video that we put out. But I think his was only about 30 minutes, so it seems like a shorter design process. Maybe it was just that part got cut off, or I don't know. But so we're still going through and cutting out the building. This does seem like quite the process. Photoshop has a cool tool now. I don't know if you've played around with it. I think I covered it in one of my videos. It's the sky replacement tool, where you can just go up to, I think it's filter sky replacement, and you're able to just completely replace the sky, and it uses like the quick select thing, and it'll automatically select out the sky for you. And it does actually a pretty good job with that in terms of the results it gets. And they have some like pre-built-in sky effects and stuff that you can add in, so it's pretty cool. I definitely love playing around with that, especially when you're trying to have like a cool background to your image and like really spice up whatever you're working with. Adding a cool sky in the background is a good way of doing that. So it looks like he's adding a bit of a vignette over the corners. Yeah, I like that nice kind of corner vignette for sure. And then, so we already have Trevor Lawrence already jersey swapped. So I guess that part just got cut out of the image, which would explain why this is so short, or got cut out of the recording. So it looks like he already did this in, yeah, it definitely is an iPad. Okay, cool. Or maybe a phone, who knows? And he's just taking this PNG and adding it in there. Okay, cool. That's one of the things is like when you have pretty limited technology in terms of, and maybe he's not limited, maybe this is like what he actually prefers to design on, but you have to like have so many different workarounds. Like I remember back on my mobile editing days, having to like erase things with an eraser tool versus just using like the automatic erase or whatever, or like the quick select. Which takes a long time, or even just as simple as doing a quick mask like that, you have to find a way to move around it. But I think it's really cool to see his process and see kind of how he's working around these things for sure. Now, the jersey swap itself, it looks pretty good. It's interesting. The face mask, I think, is one of the hardest parts in football jersey swaps for sure. So I can definitely see, like adding in some of the lightings, you know how there's like so many different reflections and stuff within the face mask itself. So that can be kind of hard to try and do. So it looks like he's just working on the blending. Oh, I don't know what he's doing there. Okay. It really is so interesting seeing this. Okay, adding more buildings. Oh, we're just scaling up the building. Okay. Lots of Dolphins assets in there. Oh, I guess that image had a good sky that he wanted to use. Okay. Yeah, I really like the way that sky looks with that. I like the colors in this. The water design mixed with the, yeah, it looks like he has some color overlays too. And I imagine, so I think when he was going through the, okay, we're going into the Lightroom now. Okay, that's kind of fun. I imagine he was going through the, his photos and stuff. It looks like he had another Trevor Lawrence jersey swap already done. So it'd be interesting to see if that's maybe something that he's just going to throw on top. I imagine he probably is just going to throw it in the front, but I'm not sure. Interesting. See, this is another one of those things where like, in order to get that camera raw filter effect, he's having to apply it on top and then cut it out. Yeah, wow. That's just one of those things that we take for granted in Photoshop for sure. Scrolling through the layers. Looks like we're working on fading out the bottom part still. Okay, now we're looking for a water splash effect. Okay. And I'm guessing if you had Photoshop, you'd have like the ability to go through. Ooh, yeah, I like the way he kind of manipulated those. See, that's so creative. I guess if you had Photoshop, you'd be able to have like a water splash brush or something that you'd just be able to kind of like brush and stuff. That's really creative. So, oh wow. It just blows my mind how like you take that one PNG like that and then you just kind of like move it around a couple of times and then blend it, and then you finally get something that kind of looks like that water splash effect that he was going for. I'm telling you, there's something to be said about just like bare bones creativity, like being forced to work on like with what you have, limited tools. Some of the people I know have like access to every design feature and every design tool you could ever imagine, and like they're just okay with it. And then there are some people that just have the most limited tools and are able to just go all in and create awesome designs. So it's not a matter about your tools, it's a matter about your creativity and solving your problems for sure. Looks like we're bringing Trevor Lawrence back in. So it looks like when he's doing that selection thing, he's literally just selecting out part of Trevor Lawrence. And then it looks like he's trying to turn down the opacity to fade it out a little bit more. And then it'll be interesting to see how he uses this water droplet effect. Okay, so that's just on top. I've seen a lot of cool kind of above water and below water effects. There's some good like Steph Curry ones that I saw. I think the Golden State Warriors designer put them out. But it's really cool getting to play around with water and stuff. There's different levels of transparency, and really the way that you can succeed when creating water designs is just like having it look as close to real life as possible, to where like the reflections in the water and stuff are all kind of transparent, to where kind of like what he's doing here, where you can actually see through and see your image and see some of the distortion and stuff that comes with water. I think that's definitely really cool. I'm definitely so impressed with like the different methods he's used to create this kind of tidal wave that we're seeing right here. So a quick note, apparently Tyler's recording cut out early, and so I'm going to go ahead and throw up his full design for you guys to check out. So that's it, guys. That's round 1, episode 2, the Jack Rydenauer versus Tyler Moreno head-to-head battle. Leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it. As a reminder, please go down to the link in the description and vote for your favorite so we'll know who is moving on to the next round. I'll have more of these awesome Sports Design School playoff videos coming out very soon, so make sure you subscribe to not miss out on those. But other than that, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.